Hello, my fellow minor league nerds, and welcome to our latest Minor League Nerd Shorts episode. This episode takes us to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, where we will learn about the short-lived Sunbury Senators and Indians who played in Sunbury, Pennsylvania. The team played 2 seasons in the Interstate League in 1939 and 1940. Despite the names used, they played both seasons as an independent, not being affiliated with any major league squad. The team's roots can actually be traced back to the early 1930s. A banker and factory owner named Orrin Sterling owned and managed the Mifflinburg Senators of the semi-pro West Branch League, leading them to the league championship series in 1930, 1931, and 1933. In 1934, he moved the team over to another semi-pro league, the Central Pennsylvania League, leading them to the league championship in 1935, 1936, and 1937. During that time, he was also able to arrange an exhibition game between his club and the Class A Williamsport Grays of the New York Pennsylvania League, the original name of the current Eastern League. The team didn't really receive much support from the people of Mifflinburg. So, in March 1938, Sterling received approval to move his team about 18 miles east to Sunbury, Pennsylvania. But he didn't just move the team. He also moved the entire physical structure of the ballpark as well, dismantling it and using the pieces to renovate and upgrade Meredith Field in Sunbury, with the park being officially dedicated on June 15th when the Senators fell 13-8 to a group of Cuban All-Stars. When the Senators began playing in Sunbury, they continued to wear the same shirts they wore in Mifflinburg, just wearing them inside out in order to hide the Mifflinburg embroidery. As you can imagine, this was not well received by the locals. The team went on to win their 4th straight Central Pennsylvania League championship that season. Leading such a strong team, Sterling was long a proponent of creating a fully professional league for his team to play in. His work paid off in March 1939 when the 4-team Class C Interstate League was formed. Besides his Senators, the league also included the Allentown Fleet Wings, who modern sources like Baseball Reference and Stat Crew list as the Dukes, the Hazleton Mountaineers, and the Trenton Senators as charter members. This was the 6th version of the Interstate League, with the previous one lasting 1 month in 1932 before disbanding. It also played with teams located in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Before their inaugural season began, the Senators played several exhibition games, with the most notable taking place on May 7th, 3 days before the start of the season. As we all know, baseball was invented by Abner Doubleday in Cooperstown, New York in 1839. Or, at least, that's what the Mills Commission concluded in 1907. All of baseball was celebrating this myth in 1939. The Senators celebrated by playing an exhibition game against the ball team from the religious commune, the House of David, defeating them 14-7. Every position player but one got a hit for Sunbury that game. They opened their regular season with a 15-13 victory over the Hazleton Mountaineers in front of 500 fans at Meredith Field. The Senators ended the season with a 51-51 record, tied with the other Senators, whom they defeated 12-7 at home on the last day of the season in front of 1,200 fans, which was their largest crowd of the season. That victory forced a 1-game playoff between the 2 teams in Trenton, with Sunbury coming out on top 3-1 to advance to the league championship series against Allentown. They took a 3-1 lead in the series, but managed to lose the last 3 games and the series to the Fleet Wings. First baseman David Kelly was the best hitter for the team, batting .404 for the season. He, along with shortstop Michael Shimko, were named to the 1939 Interstate League end-of-season All-Star team. Pitcher Joseph Kleski led the staff with a 14-13 record and an ERA of 3.13 in 197 innings pitched, while Jacob Yaros went 11-7 with a 4.44 ERA in 144 innings. Orrin Sterling paid for lights to be installed at Meredith Field that season. In July, fans packed the ballpark to watch the town's first night game. The Ethiopian Clowns were their opponent in the exhibition. They were a Negro League team similar to the Harlem Globetrotters, who barnstormed around the country mixing comedy and baseball. Fans saw an exciting game, with the Clowns leading 6-2 through 7.5 innings. The Senators tied the game up in the bottom of the 8th and went on to win 7-6 in 11 innings. Locals, who were skeptical of the lights, were very pleased with the results of their installation. For the 1940 season, the Interstate League doubled in size. The addition of the new team saw the league elevated from a Class C to a Class B. The new teams added were the Harrisburg Senators, the 5th team to use that name in the Pennsylvania capital, the Reading Chicks, the Wilmington Blue Rocks, who were the first team to use that name, as well as the York Bees. The league didn't operate with 3 teams named the Senators. The Trenton team changed its name to the Packers at the end of 1939, and the Sunbury Senators became the Sunbury Indians after a name-the-team contest was held. The name Indians beat out Trojans and Pioneers. The 1940 season wasn't a good one for the Indians. They finished in 6th place with a 58-64 record, missing the postseason. Hitting wasn't an issue as they led the league with a .288 batting average, with John Statz leading the team with a .328 average. Carl McNabb, the only member of the team to make it to the big leagues when he struck out in his one and only at-bat with Detroit, led the team with 20 home runs. Harold Nerino hit .322 with 15 home runs and had a 22-game hitting streak that season. McNabb and Nerino were selected to the league's All-Star team, which took on and lost to the Reading Chicks, who were in first place at the cutoff, 8-6. The team's fielding, though, was atrocious. They had a fielding percentage of .952, the second worst in the league, with them committing 216 errors, 26 by Carl McNabb alone. The pitching staff was led by Harold Cheney, who had an ERA of 3.70 in 175 innings, while Don Kepler finished 13-8 in 200 innings pitched. He also threw the league's first no-hitter during the second game of a doubleheader on July 2nd, a 7-inning affair against the York Bees. The team's low point came on July 17th when they were in last place. Before a game in Allentown, the players went on strike, complaining about the player allowances for food during road trips. Sterling had earlier ordered that each player be given a daily allowance of $1.50, 50 cents for each meal. At times, they were given as little as 75 cents for the whole day. In response, Sterling fired manager Bill Kerstetter and the team's business manager, Charles Sterling, who was his uncle. He later rehired Kerstetter, who the players liked, to act as the team's new business manager. Third baseman Dutch Dorman was named the new team manager, but he was unable to improve things much on the field. The Indians had scheduled another exhibition against the Ethiopian Clowns, as well as one against the Brooklyn Royal Giants, another barnstorming Negro League team at Meredith Field that season. But they were unable to play the games due to new league rules. Organized leagues were doing away with exhibition games against teams from outside the system, and the Interstate League was no different. Most loops would relax the rules when it came to games against black teams because they were considered major league caliber players who were only kept out due to the unwritten rules against black players in organized ball. Instead of canceling the contracts and forfeiting guaranteed money, an exhibition was played between the two at Meredith Park instead, with the Royal Giants winning the game 6-3. In February 1941, Sterling announced that he was moving the team to Hagerstown, Maryland. He wasn't losing money in Sunbury, but the move was purely financial, as Hagerstown had more than double the population of Sunbury and sported a larger ballpark that was also in better shape. In Hagerstown, the team was known as the Owls, which stood for Orrin, Win, Luck, and Sterling. Unlike numerous other leagues, the Interstate League continued playing through World War II, but Sunbury wouldn't see another team until the Yankees came to town in 1946. The Reds, Athletics, and Giants would all bring teams to town before the league folded following the 1952 season. The Piedmont League would place a team in the town in 1955 called the Redlegs in what was its last season. Sunbury has never hosted another professional team. After the Indians left town, Meredith Field never again hosted another professional team. The teams that came after all played at Memorial Field. The lights from Meredith Field were sold to the city of Hagerstown and used at Municipal Stadium. Well, my fellow minor league nerds, that'll do it for this episode. If you could do me a favor, please like the YouTube channel or leave a review at the podcast platform of your choice. This would greatly help us out on both. If you like the YouTube channel, you will be notified every time a new episode is released. So until next time, stay safe and make sure to never stop supporting minor league baseball and never stop learning about minor league baseball history.
This podcast is part of the Curved Brim Media Network. Here are some of the other members of Curved Brim Media.
Hi, this is Ed Rivera of the Data Chronicles. Join me as I interview people just like you and players, coaches, GMs on the path that led you to become a fan of the sport.
I'm Paul Caputo, and on the Baseball by Design podcast, I talk to minor league baseball teams, designers, and other super interesting people about what these minor league baseball logos mean, and I talk a little bit about ice cream helmets.
What's up, Bucketheads? I'm Anna DiTomaso, and each week on the Baseball Bucket List podcast, I speak with a different fan about their favorite baseball memories, what the game means to them, and what's left to check off on their baseball bucket list.
Hey everyone, it's Eric from the great state of Kansas.
This is Johnny from the New Orleans Baby Cakes Memorial Museum.
And we are the Earn Fun Average podcast,
where we talk to a variety of guests about their love of baseball and have fun doing it.
America, lower your standards.
Average is what we do best.
This is Patrick and Corey of BaseballMapper.com, and we have made an interactive map to help highlight all baseball teams from the majors down to collegiate summer leagues.
We want to bring you closer to baseball, so get on the site and find a team near you today.
Hey guys, this is Patrick Larson from the Minor League Baseball Hat History Series, and in every episode I go through the history of minor league teams through my personal collection of hats. You can find me on Twitter at PatLarson1. I hope you guys enjoy.
Learn more about Curved Brim Media at curvedbrimmedia.com.